It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Oh, welcome on in to another episode of The Cam Show. For the first time in the history of this show, we are live on YouTube the same day the Boston Red Sox play a postseason game. Yes, it all starts tonight. The wild card series in the Bronx. Red Sox, Yankees, it'll be ace versus ace. We'll have Anthony Armando of the Monument Pod talking about it from the Yankee side of things in just a few minutes. We'll break down these two starting pitchers, what will need to happen if the Yankees are going to win this series, and who should even be the favorite. Because, I mean, this is pretty divisive, pretty split down the middle. Even though the Yankees were battling for the AL East title on the final day of the season, the Red Sox, you could look at some things with them and see them as a favorite to win this wild card series. Of course, all those games will be in the Bronx. And if you live around here, that's bad news for you. We'll go over how the Yankees are trying to keep their home field advantage by any means possible, the massive bit of bad news the Red Sox got before this series, and what it means for a potential Game 3. And then later on in the show, after we talk to Anthony Armando, we'll talk about the Celtics potentially retiring a number of a guy who's left on his own voluntarily twice. Come on now. All that and more coming up on this episode of the Cam Show. But we start where we start. That is Red Sox, Yankees, wild card series. And of course, Garrett Crochet going in Game 1 tonight. Huge advantage for the Red Sox, especially how he's pitched against New York this year. That said, if this thing goes to a Game 3, the Red Sox could be in some trouble. Alex Cora announcing that Lucas Giolito will not be a part of the postseason roster, or at least the wild card series. He's out with an elbow injury, off the roster for the wild card. Of course, coming off that surgery that forced him to miss all of last year with the UCL. This is a huge blow for the Red Sox. Huge blow, no doubt. But it did look like the writing was on the wall here. Unfortunately, it kind of came fast. 100 innings is typically that benchmark for those guys coming off elbow surgeries. He pitched 145 this year. But the drop-off in September was massive. Because remember, he was cooking in August. In August, the Red Sox had a legit Crochet and Bayo were on the same innings, same ERA for about 2 months, which was astronomically small. It was great. You had basically two aces, and then Lucas Giolito cooking as well. In August, 3-0, 2.39 ERA, and in 6 starts, hitters were hitting just 194 against him. Nobody could touch him. And you really thought, like, ooh, man, maybe we didn't need Joe Ryan after all. You go into a playoff series with these 3 guys, especially a best of 3, man, you're feeling really good. Except for the fact that Brian Bayo takes a big step back in September, and so does Lucas Giolito, and now he's not even here. But in September, again, the wheels kind of fell off. All right, he goes from that 3-0, 2.39 in August to 4 starts in September, only 19 2/3 innings pitched. The walks became a big problem. I was at a game actually on August 31st where Giolito had 5 walks in 5 innings. He ends up going 13 walks in those 19 2/3. The opponent's batting average goes from 194 to 260. Huge jump there. And the ERA is still manageable at 3.66. But again, a huge step up from where it was, or step down from huge uptick, but huge step down from where it was at 239 in August. And the innings way down. So I don't know how much Lucas Giolito was going to give you in this postseason, in this wild card series, but certainly you feel good. You feel better about Lucas Giolito at probably 70 or 65% than you do about a rookie or an unproven guy you traded for in the middle of the year. Because we're talking about a potential decisive Game 3 on the road at Yankee Stadium, and your options are Kyle Harrison, who's made 2 starts for you, and Connolly Early, who's made 4 starts in the major leagues. Full stop. So you're in a heck of a predicament if it comes down to a winner-take-all Game 3 at Yankee Stadium. Like, I mean, by the way, Early's looked great through 4 starts. He started this year in AA, okay? And he's only made 4 major league starts. And you want to throw him into Yankee Stadium potentially in a winner-take-all Game 3 against one of the best slugging lineups in all of baseball in the Yankees. He's never gone more than 5 2/3 in any of his 4 starts. Has looked impressive for sure. He's got a 9-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Like that's his strikeouts per 9 is around 9. Like that's fantastic for you. You know, I don't want to strikeouts to walk 7.5. Excuse me, I got it mixed up with the hits, or excuse me, the strikeouts per 9. So he's been electric in 4 starts. That ERA under 3, but can you really rely on him in a winner-take-all Game 3? Do you want your whole season to come down to that? I tell you, it's only 2 concerns for the Red Sox in terms of health, but they're big ones. Lucas Giolito out. Alex Bregman, I don't know if he partied a bit too hard on Friday or what, because the dude's in his 30s now. I get it. You know, it's not as easy to do as it was with a bunch of 25-year-olds, 24-year-olds that are going pound for pound with him, celebrating in the clubhouse. But he apparently had some illness, had a stomach bug, traveled separately with the team. They expect him to play, but obviously not a good sign for a guy who really scuffled the last month and a half of the season, to go into a crucial series, a guy who has been a Yankee nemesis. He's faced them 4 times in the postseason, and he's knocked them out 4 times. And a guy who has hit well in that ballpark this year. That's I don't want to say a bad loss for the Red Sox. It sounds like he's going to play, but certainly not at 100% is not great news for the middle of this lineup either, because it could come down to the middle of the lineup. It's certainly something I've got to bring up with Anthony Armando of the Monument Pod, who we'll have on in the next segment. But I'm interested with how Red Sox fans have treated this home field advantage thing for the Yankees, because to me, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's a huge deal in baseball anyway versus some other sports. I don't think it's that crucial to the gameplay as it would be in maybe basketball, with how it influences referees in basketball and in hockey and the momentum swings. I just don't know if it matters as much in baseball. But I also don't feel like the Red Sox are intimidated going into Yankee Stadium. The Yankees, on the other hand, are trying all they can try to keep this a home field advantage. And that includes literally keeping Red Sox fans out of the ballpark by any means possible. I saw this going around on social media yesterday. I decided to try it for myself, but you go on to Ticketmaster and you get greeted with a nice little message. I log in from Massachusetts and I get this message that says, sorry, this event is restricted to the residents of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. They are afraid of you, the Red Sox fan. They are terrified that you're going to come in and take over their stadium. Now, the Yankees, a once proud franchise, man. Like that's not something the New York Yankees should be worrying about. The Red Sox shouldn't worry about it. The Cubs shouldn't worry about it. The Dodgers, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But for some reason, the Yankees are so terrified that there's going to be a bunch of red in the stands in the Bronx in this 3-game series that they will not let you buy tickets. Come on, man. That is some little league stuff there, man. That is really weak on the Yankee side, if we're being totally honest. Maybe this is because it's happened to them, to New Yorkers before. I noticed that it's been mentioned, and this was in the WBZ story, that New Yorkers have been caught out with this. Ticketmaster released a statement that says, confirming this is a team choice. It's not a Ticketmaster choice. They call it geo-locking. The Hurricanes did it to Rangers fans in 2022. It didn't really work if you watched any of that series. And the Pistons did it to the Knicks fans this year when they played them in round 1. It's so wild to me. Again, we're talking about the Yankees here, man. Not to pump up their tires too much, but this is one of the franchises in Major League Baseball, and they're worried about having too many Red Sox fans in there? Come on, man. Come on. That is such weak shit, man. It really, really is. The Yankees are doing this. And look, I actually think, with these two cities being fairly close together, I've been to Red Sox Yankees games at both ballparks. We've obviously watched plenty of them. There's never been a scenario where either team sucked and the opposing team's crowd took over their ballpark, let alone in a playoff series, man. Anytime you go see Red Sox Yankees at Fenway, there's going to be plenty of Yankee fans there. Boston's a great place to live. Okay, they want to be here, and they're a big time franchise. They're everywhere. Same thing with New York. You go to a Red Sox Yankees game there's always going to be, 30% Red Sox fans, let's call it, and 30% Yankee fans at Fenway Park. But to actually block us out, that is sad, man. That is a sad, sad state of affairs for a once proud franchise. They didn't want to play the Red Sox. We've heard that from Yankee fans all over the place. They wanted to play Toronto. The Red Sox are, I think, welcoming this kind of matchup, but you can't even have your fans in the stands. Come on, Yankees. Be better. You're supposed to be better than that, man. I guess it's got to wear on you with the fact that the Red Sox have won the last 3 playoff meetings, 04, 2018, and the 1-game playoff in 2021, and won 9 of the 13 games against the Yankees this year, and won 5 of the 7 played at Yankee Stadium. Maybe that's just so exhausting for the Yankees franchise that they're saying, those Red Sox fans, man, they travel too well. They're too good. They take over the ballpark. We need all the help we can get. Go ahead, Ticketmaster. Put the block in. Block the Red Sox fans from buying tickets. How sad is that? That is so sad. And if the Red Sox do come away and win this series and have divisional series against Toronto, by the way, which isn't terribly far, and a lot of Toronto expats live in New England. They travel well. If the Red Sox advance and then block Toronto fans from coming to Fenway, I got to keep the same energy. That is embarrassing, dude. That is so embarrassing. And anyone will hide behind the whole third-party ticket site. Oh, we don't want price gouging. It happens. You could buy tickets in New Jersey and price gouge there, you know? And famously, there are no Red Sox fans in Connecticut. Famously, right? Connecticut that still tries to latch on to being New England. Okay. It's just an embarrassing move by the Yankees, man. And it just adds to it if you're a Red Sox fan of like, man, I hope we kick their ass. You know, they won't even let our fans in the ballpark. How sad is that? You know, if it's Baltimore 15 years ago, that's one thing. Or Tampa. This is the Yankees doing it. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. But man, do we have a matchup tonight. Garrett Crochet versus Max Fried. Ace versus Ace. Fried, who's been great all season long, and for me, that's typically what I look at is just your run of form rather than, you know, how you are typically in the playoffs. And so I think this is going to be a terrific matchup tonight. But lest we forget, Max Fried's numbers in the postseason suck, actually, for a guy who's had plenty of postseason experience, obviously, with the Braves. 12 starts, 20 appearances, an ERA over 5 in 67 innings. Like, he has not been effective and really wasn't effective in any of the postseasons he played in. You know, the best was the 2021 when they won the World Series in Atlanta. He was 2-2 with a 4.23. It's not exactly ace kind of stuff, but it was his best strikeout to walk ratio he's ever had in the postseason. So he still does strike guys out when it comes to the playoffs. It's 66 strikeouts in 67 innings, which for a guy with an ERA that high, I guess that's something to hang your hat on. But this is going to be fascinating tonight. These two who have been from top to bottom, from start to finish, great the whole regular season. Both came in this year, signed big contracts, and both teams, both fan bases are looking at these two lefties, Max Fried and Garrett Crochet, and saying, here it is. This is what we paid you for. Game 1, postseason, against our biggest rivals. This is how you make your money. This is how you earn your paycheck right here. And boy, is it going to be fun. That's why I brought in Anthony Armando of the Monument Pod, a Yankee podcast, to give us the view from the Bronx a little bit, what he's concerned about, who he believes are the X factors in this series, and the anxiety that's keeping our pal Anthony up at night because the Yankees have to face Garrett Crochet in Game 1 of this series. That is all coming up next on The Cam Show.
whypersonalloans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit personalloans.com today.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime TD props, or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code CAMSHOW. That's code CAMSHOW to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-3669. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration. They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Welcome back to the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stuart, your host here. We're talking with Anthony Armando of the Monument Pod. We need to get the Yankee side of this thing, Anthony. We're only trying to be fair and equal here. What is the buzz around this series in particular?
Everyone's excited. The Yankee fans were a little disappointed going into the last week, the regular season, hoping that they could grab the division title. They did their part. They swept the Orioles. They've won a bunch in a row here. Blue Jays were just too good down the stretch and were able to take care of the Rays. So, we were kind of hoping to avoid this whole series and just, wait till Saturday. But here we are, and it's Yankees Red Sox. It's it's the best wild card matchup there could possibly be, and it's exciting.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I know you and David were rooting for the Red Sox quite a bit last week. Kind of a weird turnaround there after that Blue Jays series. And hey, the Red Sox took 2 out of 3 there. But looking at this game one, you talk about now, it's the fun matchup. It's what everyone wants to see. It's second to none. But was this the team you didn't want to face, or were you just happy to avoid Cleveland like we were?
After last playoffs against the Guardians, they kind of pushed the Yankees to the brink. They every game felt like it was kind of in play. I still have nightmares of that Joely Noel home run late in the game to cap it off for the Guardians. So, but no, I did not want to face the Red Sox because it has not been good against them this season. I think just the way things match up, I feel like the Yankees can beat most teams, but the Red Sox are I think the Red Sox are the most evenly matched with the Yankees. I think the two teams just have the strengths play into each other, and it's an even battle in my opinion. And you don't want to have to ever face Garrett Crochet.
Well, yes, no, definitely not. Especially, when you look at it from the Yankee side, most opportunities you go into a game one with Max Fried, this year's Max Fried, you're feeling very, very good. Still probably feeling good enough this time around, but Crochet, 3 excellent starts against the Yankees this year. The Red Sox have won all 4 of his starts. What is it? I guess the rest of the league has fallen victim to it too, but why can't this lineup touch him?
The way he attacks hitters is just the Yankees are a strikeout team. A lot of teams are strikeout, 3 true outcome kind of teams, and the Yankees have hit home runs off them, so that's not been an issue. But they've also struck out like 45 times in 4 starts, so that's never good. When you're striking out 10 times a game almost, it's really hard to do damage. You're not getting guys on base. He limits walks. So a lot of those home runs are solo shots at times too. So, it's just he's an ace. He's an ace pitcher. The Red Sox went out and got an ace. And I thought maybe it might have been, I know people were picking the Red Sox to be a playoff team or a surprise team this year. I thought they were a little early getting Crochet, but when Crochet comes available, you go get him. And, they gave up prospects and everything you want out of him. And now we got to face him. What was a 5-year deal he signed with the Red Sox?
6 years. Yeah. 6 years.
So, great. 6 more years of this.
Yes. It has been worth every penny so far, man. I was kind of with you in that boat of like, not mad about it by any means as a Red Sox fan, but like, oof, guy's not pitched 160 innings yet. Like, are we sure about this? And it has absolutely worked out. He's pitched pretty much that well against every other team too, Anthony. So, rest easy with that.
And, you were it was one of those things. It's like, well, could we have just gotten him in free agency or but they made the big move. Yes. They got him in there and he must've loved just being a Red Sox and, money helps. He's never
absolutely
never gonna get locked down and have a career year. You get signed. So, I know Skubal has been excellent this season, but I would probably vote Crochet for Cy Young in the American League, just because of the dominance I've seen him against the Yankees.
It's pretty good so far. If this isn't a dominant start, it can all change the perception for this year anyway. But looking at this, you talked about how the season series has gone and maybe that some Yankee fans are like, wasn't my top choice to play the Red Sox again. But you look at the games they don't play the Red Sox, they look like a different team a lot of the time. Is there something about this team that just brings out the worst in this year's Yankees?
I think early on in the game that the Yankees played the Red Sox, and me and Dave talked about it on the podcast, the Yankees had 2 big series against the Red Sox, like 10 days apart. It was about, like 2 weekend series in a row. And I think the Yankees had an opportunity to really kind of crush the Red Sox season at that point. But instead,
it was not a good month. Yeah.
It was not a good month for the Yankees at all either. Red Sox take 2 out of 3, get swept in Fenway. And to me, that was the turning point for that Red Sox season. I feel like that's when they really turned things around, started winning consistently. And, I don't know if early on, a lot of it was Yankees just being the Yankees and playing poor defense and playing sloppy and not running the bases well. And they've cleaned that up lately. Over the last month, that has been cleaned up a lot. They're playing a lot better defense thanks to some trades. They're running the bases better. And, the last series against the Red Sox, they took 2 out of 3 in Yankee Stadium. In Fenway. And you felt better. You felt better about it because they matched up well. They hit Brian Bayo, who to me, that is one of the pitcher. To me, Garrett Crochet is incredible, but the Yankees cannot figure out Bayo for the life of them.
Does it feel better though? They touched him up a little bit last time, and he's really not on a good stretch right now, Brian Bayo, from really the beginning of September to now. And so you look at, oh man, we've got our ace on the mound game 1, and their ace is just a little bit better. But that game 2 matchup feels a lot different. Rodon versus Bayo, at least the way he's been going for the Red Sox right now. But in the back of the minds of Yankee fans, is it perfect opportunity for him to get back?
And that's what we're hoping. I know a lot of people were talking, do you not pitch Fried in game 1 so that you don't match ace versus, kind of conceding, if you hit Crochet, great, but maybe Rodon can kind of keep pace and you still have your ace against, maybe a lesser opponent.
In a 3-game series though.
And that's, you don't take chances. That's what I said. I'm like, let's not get too cute. The Yankees can plenty of times get too cute. Like the lineup came out and, not exactly what you were hoping for the Yankee lineup. It definitely, looks very sabermetrical. And I'm sure people who hate stats are already, poo-pooing the fact that Ahmad Rosario's in there and where's Ben Rice. So I'm sure if they lose tomorrow, that'll be, part of the headlines of why are they not starting their best guys.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ben Rice one, that's a key. That's already advantage Red Sox in that hole because you put a lefty on the mound, this kid who had 2 homers and hits the Red Sox fairly well in terms of his power numbers too. Speaking of cleaning things up, you had talked about a while back, of how much they've cleaned up lately. Certainly the bullpen is better than what it was in the summer. I mean, that had to have been a huge hole for that Yankee team, and still the worst bullpen ERA of anyone in the playoffs, but a significant jump. And so you go past these 2 starters, you have a Red Sox bullpen that, while near the top of the league, is kind of thin with those high leverage guys. And with the way the Yankees are going with that pen, does that give them a slight advantage over the Red Sox?
They have been a lot better lately, but Dave and I, last episode of the pod, we went through our circle of trust, and it's a small circle right now. It's not. It's better than it was 3 weeks ago when anytime they picked up the phone, if it was in Bednar, it was like, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But Devin Williams has been better lately. He looks like the Devin Williams that they thought they were getting at the beginning of the season. He's got swagger back. He's got the command of the fastball. The changeup is, still one of the best pitches in baseball, and he's been commanding it better. I think that confidence that he has in his pitches has really translated to the success he's having now. So, you feel good, better about that. Fernando Cruz has, again, one of the best splitters in baseball. If he cannot walk anybody, great. And I feel like I could say the same thing about every other pitcher. Luke Weaver, lights out last year, and this year has struggled since coming back from the injury. Doesn't seem to have that same kind of confidence that, when he was coming out of the bullpen last October, you just felt like the game was over. And then you can mix and match with Tim Hill and Mark Leiter Jr. Maybe, I don't know. It gets a little, you got to squint a lot. And David Bednar, for as good as he's been, he likes to play with fire a little bit. So none of it makes me feel great. I feel better about it now, and it has gotten better. But you mentioned the Red Sox bullpen. I feel like they run out the same, and you talked about the probably the lack of depth there. I feel like it's starting pitcher, then it's Weissert, Whitlock, Chapman. I'm like, how many times I've seen those 3?
Yeah, I mean, and if Weissert's not letting inherited runners score, it's usually a win. I mean, Whitlock and Chapman have been as good as any 2 relievers in all of baseball this year. So it's been lockdown. It's just kind of that bridge getting them there. Is sometimes a little wobbly, that's for sure. And looking past the bullpen, who are some of your X factors in this series, considering, how quickly it can turn? A few bad innings and you might lose this thing.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see Cam Schlittler pitch. Well, if there's a game 3, it's going to be Cam Schlittler for the Yankees. And
I'm glad you said it first before me. The first try is always a little difficult for me, so I'm glad.
Yeah, we had when we were trying to figure out the name. When he first got called up, it was a tongue twister at first.
Yeah, take some reps. Yeah,
yeah, you need some practice at it. But after a while, Schlittler just starts running off. But he, not that I'd rather it be over in 2. I mean, that'd be the preference here, but I'm excited to see what he can do. I think coming out of as a starting pitcher, he's just electric on the mound, and he's had some really good starts lately. And even the starts that he wasn't at his best, he still gave you 5 innings. Didn't really have a blow up. So I'm really excited to see him pitch in the playoffs. The one guy who I'm wondering how they're going to use will be Luis. Just pitched on Sunday, so he'll probably be available game 2 out of the bullpen. But he could be, he could come out of the bullpen as a weapon that gives you a little extra length, so you don't have to go to Mark Leiter Jr. or God forbid Paul Blackburn. But he's prone to walks, and that's always been his bugaboo. So I'm interested to see how they use them. And then in the lineup, how they use Jose Caballero will be very interesting to me, because he is an it factor for this team. He brings, a swagger. He brings some chaos. Not always good chaos, sometimes just chaos. Yeah. But he's a firecracker, and you could tell he already kind of turned things on for when he came to this team. So him off the bench, I think will be interesting to see how they use him there. And I would say probably then, other than Judge, if Judge hits, the Yankees do well. But other than that, Trent Grisham has been a story for this team the whole season, hitting over 30 home runs out of nowhere, and playing really good, smooth defense in center field. So, Grisham, Caballero off the bench, and then what will Heel do out of the bullpen are kind of things I'm looking at.
Man, Anthony, I've been so excited for this too. Like to have this series back as the Red Sox get back into the playoffs. And it's not like I'm like 95% sure they're going to win or anything. I'm not even close to that. But I'm like, this is great theater to have back. Yeah. And I've been saying all week, the last couple of weeks on the show, is how much the city kind of needs the Red Sox. Not that anybody else is feeling bad for Boston sports fans or anything, but just like in this moment, the Patriots aren't quite good yet. The Bruins are going to have a bad season. The Celtics are going to have a weird season without Tatum. It's like, and they're finally back in the playoffs. Is there a bit of that with like the Giants and the Jets and everything going on with New York, that it's like, all right, this is kind of what we need?
Yeah, the Knicks have been good and have really given
seen that, yeah,
given fans in New York something to cheer about. But I mean, football basically, the Giants fans are excited about Jackson Dart right now, so that's something. But other than that, the city's playoffs hopes basically ride on the Yankees. Not saying I'm not a little happy that the Mets kind of, had an epic.
Yeah, wait, how about that? Like, what was that like? I mean, you don't win the division, but then I'm sure you're scrolling through Twitter or YouTube or whatever, and you're like, but Ron Darling's having a meltdown over the Marlins taking a team picture. That's not that bad.
Yeah, no, and I'm not one of those Yankee fans that hates the Mets. Like, I have no hate for the Mets. Like, I don't mind if they do well. But I think for this one season, right after that, it was the whole Juan Soto thing, and Mets fans were feeling a little feisty and like, yeah, it's our city now. It's like, well, maybe you need to make the playoffs first. And so I was kind of rooting for the collapse, and I feel bad because one of my best friends is a Mets fan, and he's like, thanks, after all this. But wow, it was incredible to see that team not make the playoffs and just kind of go out the way they did those last couple games, not 4-0 against the Marlins. The last day of baseball was entertaining, even though a lot of things didn't change. There's still a lot to watch for.
It felt classic, watching 3 different scores at once, during your game. That's why they all start at the same time. It's an awesome thing. And who would have thunk it, man? We added more playoff teams and got more drama at the end of September. The NBA has been trying to do that for years, and it hasn't worked. But going into taking a look at this series, if the Yankees win it, take care of home field advantage, how do they get there?
How do they get there? How do they win this series? I would say middle of the lineup actually comes through. Aaron Judge has gotten that reputation that he can't hit in the playoffs. And I think this is his moment to change that. It's all the talk right now of who's the AL MVP. It won't matter if he disappears in the playoffs again. And I think if he hits, they win this series. If he's been a tear the last 2 weeks. If he continues that hot hitting, I don't think I don't think the team can lose with him hitting the way he is. Now he might get intentionally walked a bunch of times. Definitely possible.
Could happen.
But hey, putting more guys on base, playoff Stanton is another animal, and Cody Bellinger behind him is another another good bat. I think the one thing you're a little more excited about as a Yankee fan this year is that they are a more complete team than they were last year. Even with Soto, that top of the lineup was very top heavy. And then once you got past there, not so much. And I think now they're a much more complete lineup. So I think if they don't strike out, let's see, a 3-game series, if they don't strike out 50 times, then they will probably win this series. But it's going to come down to whether that lineup can carry them through.
Now that we've established that, give me your prediction on the series.
I have to say Yankees in 3. And my co-host Dave, he's been waiting for the Chapman meltdown against the Yankees, just because we've seen the Chapman meltdown. Now, this is a completely different Chapman. I will say this is the best version of Aroldis Chapman there has been, but we've seen the moment where Altuve hits the home run and he's just standing there, and we've witnessed all of it. So he's waiting for it. I'm not saying this is the moment it'll happen. They got him another year, so it might be a next year thing. But I think the Yankees win in 3, and I think it's a battle the whole way.
And if there is a game 3, it will likely be bonkers, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Is what that's lining up to be. But Anthony Armando from the Monument Pod, what are you guys dropping this week?
We're gonna go tomorrow. So we'll be right after game 1. We figure right in the middle of the series, we can kind of look at things from going both ways and how it kind of shakes out. So Dave and I will be recording tomorrow night, probably during the game, or just as the game's ending. So we'll have some reactions. The hard thing about the playoffs is it happens so quick. So as soon as you say something, it's like outdated, and it's like you gotta keep moving. But while I have you here, I need to ask you. Obviously you're picking the Red Sox to win this series.
Yeah.
I'll
say Sox in 2. I'll spruce it up.
All right, Sox in 2.
I'll throw it out
it
there. Why not? We'll go for it. Definitely loving this pitching matchup coming through for game 1 today. We will have reaction tomorrow. Anthony Armando, the Monument Pod, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
There we go.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Man, what a nice way to bring us back. The Magic Flame in there. Thanks, of course, to Anthony Armando of the Monument Pod. He will cover this thing from the Yankee side of things. So if you're looking for the opponent's view of this series, definitely go check them out. Of course, we will cover it wall to wall from the Boston side of things as long as this series goes. No more than 3 games. And I put Sox in 2. I do believe like they could have an off game tonight, still get a crochet gem, and kind of have the bats wake up in game 2. And I think that's very possible. But with these two teams and the way it's been all year, like they've been neck and neck all year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this goes 3 games. And honestly, if I had to put money on it, I'd say it goes down to 3 games. But taking a second to talk about the Celtics for a bit here, because they're starting the season. Like media days were yesterday and today. They're going to have the preseason starting next week. So we're back into Celtics basketball. It's going to be a very weird year for the Celtics. No Jason Tatum, obviously. And now, as we learned this week, no Al Horford either. He is leaving Boston. He is signing a multi-year deal with the Golden State Warriors and will leave the Celtics for the second time in his career. And look, we all love Al Horford and what he contributed specifically to that 2024 championship team. But I saw this tweet from Sean Grande, who's one of the best ever, the radio voice of the Celtics, puts out this, that 42 to the rafters is very much in play. As in the Celtics retiring their 24th number, and it being Al Horford's. Technically, he's right. 42 to the rafters is in play because he did play for the Celtics. Okay, that is true. And he wore number 42. So technically, that is in play. And by the way, a lot of Celtics fans got under this tweet and said, well, this isn't it, to the point where Grande turned off the comments on the tweet and had a very snarky remark underneath it for those struggling with reading comprehension. And that number seems disturbingly high. And Al Horford number retirement's in play. You've lost touch with the Celtics if you think it's not. Come on, Sean. Like, come on, dude. That's such weak sauce right there. Like, to that, clearly you were implying that the Celtics should be retiring number 42, or else why would you tweet that? And then you're going to insult the intelligence of Celtics fans underneath for rightfully saying, no, we probably shouldn't go that far and retire Al Horford's number. I just, I hate that. And it happens on Twitter all the time of like, hey, I didn't say it. It's like, no, but you really did. You did. There'd be no other reason to say that if you just, any numbers in play, Wally Zerbiak's numbers in play. He played for the Celtics, Marcus Smart's numbers in play. Of course they're in play, but we're not retiring Al Horford's number. That would be ridiculous. And to be fair to Sean Grande, he is far from the only one who I've seen throw that out there on social media. We actually saw it a lot with Marcus Smart after he got traded and it allowed the Celtics to win an NBA title. That was like, oh, well, he was the emotional leader and all this. And Al Horford seems like a great guy, was obviously a great leader on that team, was a big part of them winning an NBA championship and going to another finals in 2022. But even for the Boston Celtics, who arguably have the easiest path to entry of any for a retired number for any franchise in all of sports, because they have them and the Yankees have the most. Even for the Boston Celtics, this is a bridge too far. What has Al Horford done to justify getting his number retired? He won a championship. Fantastic. This franchise has 18. You don't just hand out retired numbers to everyone who wins a title. They did it to everyone who won 8 in the 60s. Everybody's got their number retired. But what has Al Horford done as a Celtic to get his number 42 retired? Seriously. He played parts of 7 seasons for the Celtics. He made one All-Star team as a Celtic. Fantastic. Never averaged more than 14 a game as a Celtic. Was never in any kind of discussion for, again, one All-Star team, never in any discussion for an All-NBA team in his time with the Celtics. I think he made one All-NBA team in his entire career. Finished in the top 10 of any kind of major end-of-season award voting one time as a Celtic, and it was 5th in Defensive Player of the Year, so already below, a guy like Marcus Smart or a guy like Derek White, who we would say, no, of course not. They wouldn't get their number retired. And speaking of Derek White, number 9 for your Boston Celtics. If you're actually going to consider retiring Al Horford's number, then what on earth has Rajon Rondo done wrong? I mean, he was the point guard of a championship team, so he's got one title, just the same amount as Al Horford, who made one All-Star team with the Celtics. Rajon Rondo made 4 in a row and led the league in assists in a pretty major category, led the league in assists twice as a Celtic and steals once as a Celtic, finished top 10 in the MVP voting twice as a Celtic, finished top 10 in Defensive Player of the Year 3 times as a Celtic, and we're not even considering him. We're just like Al Horford because he's nice. Like that I don't get. I just don't get that. Rajon Rondo was legitimately one of the top 3 point guards in the league for 4 or 5 years running as a Celtic and is a legit basketball Hall of Famer and played his best years with the Celtics. And oh, by the way, I know the marriage wasn't very great at the end, but he got traded. Al Horford voluntarily left your team twice, not once, twice. And one of them was to one of your big Eastern Conference rivals. He couldn't get out. He opted out so that he could leave and go to Philadelphia. Like, no, man. And I don't think Al Horford's sitting there like, yeah, I should have my number retired with the Celtics. Like, shouldn't have my number retired next to Bill Russell and Larry Bird and Kevin Garnett. I don't think he's advocating for that. But you kind of lose that privilege. And the Celtics have kind of gotten lost in the sauce when it comes to retired numbers. And some other teams have as well. But like that should be the ultimate honor of your franchise, right? Like especially one that's this historic. That should be the ultimate honor. Maybe even more so than the Hall of Fame is to have your number retired there. That someone says you were such an impactful part of our franchise that no one's even going to wear your jersey number again. I'm sorry, man. Al Horford does not meet the criteria. In fact, there's really no one. And again, the Celtics throw out retired numbers willy-nilly. And there's really no one that fits the same mold as Al Horford. There's no one you can point to who will say, well, his number's retired. Like Cedric Maxwell. Yeah, 2 championships, also won a finals MVP. Al Horford didn't do that. You can go back to some of the 60s guys who were just kind of there, right? Frank Ramsey, Satch Sanders. They won like 8 championships, so there's something else there. Reggie Lewis, the only one who didn't win a championship. Well, actually, Ed McCauley also didn't win a championship. That's a weird one. But Reggie Lewis, a little bit of a different circumstance. Star player, dies during the prime of his career. Like there's no one, Walter Brown and Red Auerbach, I think it's weird that they have numbers retired as an owner and a president and coach respectively. But there's no one you can point to and say, well, because he has his number retired, Al Horford should. And like, you can just admit it was a dumb tweet. It was just a dumb tweet. But it also signifies how our sports landscape is now of like, you're either a bum or you're one of the greatest. You can't just say, Al Horford, nice career, thanks for the memories. You can't just say that. It's either he's got to have his number retired or he's a bum. Like, you just can't have an in-between. And retired numbers are right up my wheelhouse. It really kind of gets me buzzing, as you can tell. And I do think the Celtics have gone way overboard with it. And I think the other Boston teams have done really well with their selections of retired numbers. But that's definitely not the case across the board. Zach, we have talked about this before, but this got to reminding me of how weird there are some retired numbers are out there. The first one that came to mind is one that I think caught you off guard on one of the shows once. Did you know that Nick Collison has his number retired?
It caught me off guard again because I forgot. With Seattle or
number retired City? With the Thunder. Yeah.
Is it because he's like one of the last draft picks or something? Or
I guess, but so was Durant, he played a season in Seattle. Yeah, he was one of the guys that made the transition from Seattle to Oklahoma City. But my man never, and I mean never, averaged 30 minutes a game for a whole season. He never did it, man. Yeah. And he never averaged 10 points in a game for a whole season. Like, that's a bit too far. Like, I get some of them. There's some sentimental value.
Average is like 12.9.
Yeah. Al Horford, if he had just stuck in Oklahoma
Double
City, he
dip,
probably
yeah.
would get his number retired. Make no bones about it. But I hate when teams do like owners is a big one. And the Celtics are one of them, by the way, with Walter Brown. I hate that.
And I think we've talked about it before too. Just another one that kind of fits in there because you talked about that Red has his number retired too.
Yes.
And he's not the only coach because Jerry Sloan has it with the Jazz. Pat Riley has it with the Heat, but that's not the Heat have my least favorite.
Okay, before we get to that though, Jerry Sloan has the number of wins retired. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like 1,200 and something.
What I hate about the Red Auerbach thing is he's got number 2 retired. Like that's a number people want to wear. Like that's a number that's in rotation. Walter Brown is number 1 and Red Auerbach is number 2. First off, Red Auerbach shouldn't be number 2 in anything if we're really boiling it down to. But that's like a jersey people want to wear. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No. And Riley's is like 600 and something too. So it's not like, those are taken away.
Miami's got some weird ones. The Heat have some weird ones.
Yeah, so Shaq has his number retired for multiple places, and it's just not that he doesn't deserve it. It's just some of them, I guess, if you want to just like fight the numbers, like Orlando retired his and only played there for like 4 years.
I think
Miami retired his
number as well.
Yeah, and he only played like 3.5 in Miami, but he is at least the caliber type of player where it warrants. The one that I don't get, and it is a player that warrants it, but it's not like a league-wide thing. It's not like in Major League Baseball where everybody's retired 42 or in the NHL where everybody retires 99. The Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls, as far as I know, are the only 2 organizations that have the number 23 retired. Why the hell, if you're the Miami Heat,
For Michael Jordan, yeah.
The Celtics they retired it out of like it says Jordan. Yeah. Why?
It's really weird. It's really weird. They also have Dan Marino's as well. So I think people have worn 13 though, but they have it.
I think
raised to the
Bam. I think Bam
rafters.
Adebayo.
Bam wears 13. You're exactly right. Yeah, I think they have a banner up there for Dan Marino. It's like, huh? Why? It's the 23 thing though. Like that is not to get too graphic on this show, but take the orifice out of your mouth. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here?
A Riley thing of like, hey, maybe if we retire it when he comes back, instead of playing for the Wizards, he'll come to us.
I mean, I think they did it after he retired from the Wizards, though. I think I remember this happening.
See, that makes even less sense. Another one that I'll just
Billy
throw
Joel,
in that's a little
Square Garden
that I feel is just kind of nepotism in a way, but it's reverse nepotism of where like the dad got his number retired. I feel like Cal Ripken Sr. is retired just because of Cal Ripken Jr.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's like 0-21 as a manager. Like, yeah, that's like that, which is weird. I mean, I guess it can maybe fall into the sentimental thing of like he was a coach there forever, like he was part of the organization forever. So the Red Sox have it with Johnny Pesky, who was a good, solid player. Didn't have a very long career, but was part of the franchise for like 6 decades in some capacity. And so, like I give each team like 1 or 2 of those. That's fine. But the Ripken one is weird in that, oh yeah, and by the way, his son's the best player in the history of our franchise.
Yeah.
Like, Ripken, Murray, Robinson. Oh, another Ripken. Yeah. Like, what's stopping Billy, man?
Well,
Billy.
The baseball bat with the F face on the bottom of it. That's what it is.
That should get retired. That should be the baseball banner. Card. That should be the banner.
I do want to add just real quick, and this is nothing. It kind of goes to this, but I've thought of you the past couple of days, and I haven't told you about this.
Thank you.
Well, it is, but I've been watching a video essay series. It's 2 different videos that are an hour and a half each, but a guy has gone back. It's Baseball's Not Dead.
Yes, I know exactly. I've seen the first one. I saw the second one came out.
I watched
way up my alley. Go ahead and explain it.
I finished the second one too, and when I watch it, I don't know. I cannot watch it and not think of you though. But it's great. It's absolutely great.
So it's an hour and a half long video about this baseball YouTuber, and he goes through every baseball movie and ranks them purely on gameplay. I think the way he says it is how well the actors play baseball.
Yeah.
And so the first one he did like a year or 2 ago was the mid 80s on. I think it was 84.
Yeah, I think he started it from like his lifetime. So it's like 84 onward or something like that.
And now he's gone before 84, which is just going to get ridiculous. I've not seen
some of these silent movies and just everything he gets into. I thought right up your alley. So I think
But you see on the thumbnail, it's Norman Bates playing Jimmy Pearsall. So he's in a Red Sox uniform. There's some really, really like I'm interested to see what his top 10 looks like, because some of them are still probably bad for gameplay before 84.
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, for sure they are. And I'll just add this: the last one on the list. It's so funny that all these Babe Ruth movies, because in the previous one he kind of dogs John Goodman's Babe Ruth movies for not being
terrible.
great.
And he does it for the same reasons I do, of like, Babe Ruth was kind of weird looking, but he was not fucking 315 pounds. Like, and he wasn't, and John Goodman was like 40 doing that movie. And it starts out with Babe Ruth as a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Really. So
well, this one, it starts off in the same kind of thing. The list starts off with the Babe Ruth story that was made like right before his death. And it is so like he heals a puppy, he heals sick kids with home runs.
It's an awful movie. He's like, he literally has Christ-like powers in that movie. It's so embarrassing to watch, which no excuse in terms of like, oh, that's just how movies were back then. Because Pride of the Yankees came out before that, and it still holds up. It's still a great movie. Gameplay, but in terms of like a movie and not being cartoonish, it's great. Before we get out of this, what is the Rangers' weird retired number? Do they have a weird one? And I think that from what I remember, they're fairly justified.
I think for the most part they are. I'm trying to look them up real quick just to make sure that I'm
if you have to look it up, maybe it's not that weird.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that's, Nolan Ryan. I'm trying to think of who else there is.
I mean, I get that though. I know it's not the peak of his career, but I get that.
So there's I say that in our lovely Rogue internet segment. So Pudge makes sense. Michael Young makes sense.
Yep.
They do have Johnny Oates as a manager. That's fine. He was the manager then.
What's the number?
26. Then they have Adrian Beltre.
If I have a manager getting his number retired, I want it to be like 70.
I do too. I do. 26 is a player number. I like the old, and then it's Beltre's 29, Nolan's 34, and then Jackie Robinson's 42. So it's
perfect. I mean, I don't know what Jackie Robinson did for the Rangers, but no, I think that's perfect.
They were still the Senators when he played, but still.
That's gotta be it. Anyway, Al Horford, 42, retired. Come on, people.
No.
Come on. That's not a directive, by the way. Don't do that unless it's people and they've consented to it. But come on, dude. What are we doing there? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know who you think is the favorite in this Red Sox-Yankees series and who's going to win it tonight. Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We come at you live every weekday, high noon Eastern time. We'll be Red Sox all week, man, with some spatterings of the pop culture stuff, as in Celtics retired numbers. But this is your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio. I'm Cam Stewart, your host, Zach Burke. You just saw him behind the glass, keeping us on the air 5 days a week. Thanks so much for making it a part of your routine. We will see you tomorrow, talking a lot of Red Sox, reacting, and looking forward on the Cam Show.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGOAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Get paid faster with Bill. Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.